I think it's fair to say Velma is an unmitigated disaster. 42% of the critics and 7% audience. Now, obviously, Rotten Tomatoes isn't the be-all and end-all. We all know that. But goddamn, terrible. Terrible. So that's why it's just so smart that Warner Brothers has announced, not technically officially announced, but they have said in an interview that they're working on Velma Season 2. Love it. Yeah, that's the smartest thing ever. Season 2 is already underway at HBO Max, reports Collider. Ah, yes. Don't you just love it, ladies and gents? So, before we dive into this, please do hit subscribe, give the video a like, and please do share it. YouTube has been doing something very annoying with the channel, so it'd be good if you did that for me. I love you long time. Anyway, so the Timeless Scooby-Doo franchise has spawned numerous iterations over the centuries? Collider? Century? Hundreds of years? I don't think that's the case. But it has had quite a lot of series going on, right? In fact, one of the Daphne voice actors threw a major shade at Velma. Major shade. And interestingly enough, this is literally just Mindy Kaling's self-insert here. There's no stopping this queer icon. Since what? When was she a queer icon? But anyway, now the highly intelligent member of the Mystery Inc. gang, Velma, has her own standalone series which premiered on January 12th. And although the animated series has been plagued by controversies and low ratings, the controversies are of their own making, by the way. They are literally of their own making. From nonsense statements from Mindy Kaling saying how no one, Velma was the unsung hero of, and we needed to spotlight that she actually solved the mysteries. Everyone knew she was the smart one. Everyone knew she solved the mysteries. Because funnily enough, this was when archetypes were fine, and she was the smart one with glasses, and we saw her solving the mysteries. Idiot. Goodness me. Now, obviously, it did premiere. Terribly low ratings. Already covered some of that here. Awful ratings. And the thing is about this as well, guys, is that literally it's universally hated. It's not even a small amount, right? It's not even a small amount. Everyone's comments on it are just awful. Every episode is a cringy, eye-rolling slog. Leans annoyingly into the awkward racial and sexual humour while simultaneously retreading ancient, overdone and obvious Scooby-Doo jokes. Velma is constantly pointing out how clever it is to be self-referential. At some point the show isn't trying to be comedy anymore. It's being analytical. And the only people that did like it, well, they're idiots. Anyway. So Deadline's now reported that production for the second season of Velma is already underway. The information comes shortly after the conclusion of Season 1's finale on HBO Max. Now the thing is, about the Season 2 announcement, technically it's not an official announcement. It was said offhand. Mindy Kaling's got more projects. One of them is, animated Velma, blah, blah, blah. So it's said offhand. And the thing is that this would have already been in production anyway, because as for animation work, it takes quite a long time to do animation work. So there's always a pipeline of these things. You get the scripts underway, you send them off to the animators crack on, and then realistically you just get the voice actors in pretty close to the last minute. Voice actors can just jump in and do it whenever. It's really not a big deal. They're one of the final parts of all of this stuff. The animation takes so bloody long. So this would have been underway for a while. And the thing is, it is very, very rare, right? It is very, very rare that these things get cancelled when they're in production, just because they've already started to pay them. But I do wonder if this is a step too far for HBO Max. And this is an IGN article. Because again, this is taken from a Deadline report where Channing Dungey just says it kind of offhand. He's the chairman and CEO of Warner's television group. He confirmed it, but again, it's quite offhand statement. So IGN obviously came out and was like, well, let's just talk to someone who we know working on it. And a source close to the production confirms to IGN that a second season is indeed in the development stages. So that will mean pipeline animators will be working on it. Now, they obviously state that, official renewal hasn't been announced. There hasn't been this big thing where they've come out and said, yeah, it's underway, brilliant. And, it's quite rare for them to get cancelled at the development stages. But it's not unheard of, but it is rare. So it does sound like we're going to get another one. And then all you'll do is get these idiots, the likes of like Collider here, suggesting that it's because she's queer and all this kind of nonsense, as opposed to the fact that, it's got really nothing to do with that. They say it here, Although some people are delighted that Velma Dinkley is depicted as queer in both the television series and the 2022 film Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo, it did not come without objections and debate over whether it truly offends the fans of the classic franchise. No one cares. What kids' cartoon characters do with their genitals is of absolutely no importance. Literally no importance. We never heard of Daphne and I can't even remember his bloody name now. Daphne and her fella cracking on, getting it on, making weird sex jokes with one another. But the moment you flip them, that's all it becomes. That's just what it becomes. It becomes this weird self-indulgence of over-sexualization. Bizarre. Really, really bizarre stuff. So, there you have it. There's not really much else to dive into here. It could still be cancelled. If I was David Zaslav and I was smart, I would cancel this. It's a waste of money. And even though it has been now underway, I would still cancel it. It's still a waste of money. It's not going to do anything good for you. So there you have it, ladies and gents. Leave your thoughts down below. Take care.